Hey guys, Evan Oric here, back with another video. Some of you may recall that back in the fall of 2022, I made a video declaring that Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster was the best Godzilla movie of all time. That remained my favorite Godzilla movie since I was 8, up until I saw Godzilla Minus One. I can now proudly say that Minus One, as most Godzilla fans agree, was the best Godzilla movie of all time. To that point, let's get into 5 reasons why Godzilla Minus One is the best Godzilla movie of all time. Number 5. Soundtrack. Given that Godzilla Minus One is a modern reboot of the original 1954 film, it's fair to say that it also has one of the best soundtracks. As it should, it contains many new pieces of music that have never been heard before for a Godzilla movie. It's also important to mention that it brings back several pieces of music from old Godzilla movies, such as Godzilla's classic theme and the theme of King Kong vs. Godzilla in 1962. This provides the perfect combo of music that can be very much appreciated by Godzilla fans. Number 4. Some of the best visual effects. As less Toho Godzilla movies are being made in the modern age than they were 2 or 3 decades ago, it's important for Toho to take into account that the days of their older VFX are over. Godzilla Minus One brought Toho Godzilla movies into a brand new modern light with its amazing visual effects. Think about it. Godzilla Final Wars, which was made only about 20 years ago, doesn't even compare to the level of VFX that was done for this film. They truly did an amazing job with the shots of Godzilla and the havoc of post-war Japan. It's also worth noting that Godzilla Minus One recently won the Oscar for Best Visual Effects, so it's no lackluster reason to mention in this video. Number 3. Callbacks to 1954. As mentioned before, this film serves as a standalone reboot to 1954. So it seems. That fact is something all audience goers should take into account before watching. But this movie, yet again, has the perfect balance. The perfect balance between creative ideas and callbacks that were executed well in this movie. We have Godzilla's death taking place at sea, and we have Godzilla's first discovery by humans being on an island, all relating back to the first film. It's fair to say that Minus One should have never been a copy and paste of 1954, but neither should it have dissed its significance. Number 2. Perfect balance between humans and monster scenes. One of my biggest points for both kaiju fan films and actual kaiju films is that they must have the perfect balance between human and monster scenes. What is this perfect balance? Perfect balance is where the humans have a far bigger presence in the movie than the kaijus do. This might sound odd given that the movie is a kaiju movie, but this way, for the fewer times that kaijus do show up, it's much more anticipated and entertaining. This might sound odd given that the movie is a kaiju movie, but this way, for the fewer times that the kaijus do show up, it is much more anticipated and entertaining. And finally, for reason number 1, the human story. Similarly to the previous point, the human story is much more significant in a kaiju movie than people realize. Nearly all past Godzilla films, Toho and Legendary, haven't shown the human stories to their fullest potential. This movie went beyond that. For starters, the main character Koichi has his own unique background story. He's a former kamikaze pilot that in the eyes of his peers failed his country. Given this immense guilt, he goes through a massive journey trying to find out who he truly is while caring for his partner and their stepdaughter. This movie also doesn't just give his story a big play in the movie, but nearly all the other characters as well. Think of his shipmates that he helps destroy mines with. Their story is obviously not as important. The script made it so that they were still different and fun characters that the audience can admire. That is not only how you create a human story in a Godzilla movie, but make a human story in general for any film. And those are my 5 reasons why I believe Godzilla Minus One is my favorite Godzilla movie of all time. I truly haven't met anyone who personally has said that this movie was bad or disappointing, and that's because it isn't. It hit almost all the right check marks, and after 10 to 11 years of saying a different Godzilla movie was my favorite, it's time to make that change. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys later, and bye-bye.